Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first annual game ranking.
Yay!
Woo!
So if it wasn't obvious already from the games in the games we'll be ranking, this is obviously our annual ranking we'll be doing for the games we've completed. Um
Where is my scroll bar? Oh, yeah. So we're thinking every once in a while, probably maybe not once a year exactly, but at least once every once in a while, we'll go through and just rank all the games that we've played on the channel. Just show our opinions of everything. Some
and
of
obligatorily I will
some of
have read
these
up.
might oh, shush. Some of these might have some recency bias, but that should be
Yes.
alleviated the next time that we do it.
Yes. And oh believe us, one of these games, at least for me, despite it being recent, isn't gonna show that.
All right, so since Arc, if you've watched any of our tier list stuff, like in the Class 109 videos, you'll know Arc is very good at discussing stuff, right? So I'm gonna go first and do my ranking, and so I'm going to start with the shortest one that we've played, which was They Looked Like Us. Which, as we go along, I do want to do more short horror games. So as we do more of those, we might exclude the short ones unless it's something that really stands out.
Right.
But
Um
since we don't have a lot, we can just do this. I'm going to put this in B because obviously it's a very short game, so there's not a lot to it. But for being a short game, it was actually really scary. So let's see here, you tell me which ones you want me to do.
um do Papers, Please next.
Papers, please. I think also B. I like this game a lot, but it is I can see why it's the kind of game that I think you have to be really good at commentary to be able to play it for a video, because it is kind of your problem was it does that got repetitive.
uh I mean, yeah, I mean, Papers, Please is definitely one of the games where it's definitely a lot more fun for the player than it is for the viewer. Because yes, for the viewer, it's just it does get very repetitive, let's say.
Yeah, and I don't think I was good enough at commentary on it personally.
Uh, do Amnesia: The Dark Descent next.
Oh yeah, Amnesia. Amnesia is like a game that the first half was really good. I was really pulled in on the first half. And then I think having to redo the that one section because the game like glitched out, which I don't think was my fault. That that kind of like it didn't ruin the game. The game wasn't ruined for me, but I think it kind of started the slight downhill that it took because as it was getting closer to the end, I was kind of just wanting it to be done.
Yeah, honestly, me
I still
too.
enjoyed the game. It got genuine screams out of me. And I do want to eventually play more games in the series, mostly because I'm just really interested in where the games are going to go. Um, and we might also play Soma, but I know I have done B several times, but I think also B. But like,
You're
yeah, I
good.
think
Red
this
Group
is
put our tier list a B.
no. There, it's just you're picking the medium ones. Okay,
uh,
I think this is the order though. I think it's a pretty high
okay.
B.
Uh,
First half was great. Second half was okay.
uh, I wanna save like the games I know you're probably gonna like for like last, but you know you're probably gonna say like a lot of commentary on those games because you did tell me for the viewers Red did tell me before we began recording or yesterday that she's gonna try to be more descriptive with her tier ranking this time to explain like why each game goes in one tier list or one game over the other. And I think that's showing because in the Class 9 tier, she kind of like threw the characters in the tiers, didn't explain anything. But then now she has, of course. Let's go with Holy
And
Pop
that's
2
why
then.
when I'm doing the Class 9 videos, I'm gonna describe my opinion and explain it better.
Mhm.
Which one?
Holy Pop 2.
You want to do the second one first?
Yes.
Uh, hmm. It's not as good as the first one. And not just because it's harder.
I'm gonna save my commentary for when it's my turn.
Yeah. It is harder. And I think some part of that makes me dislike it a little bit, but it's just, I think everything about it is not as good. I don't like the characters as much. I don't think they're as memorable. I don't think the CGs are anywhere near as good, especially since you only get one per like character pairing. It sucks that Q isn't an option. Uh, the mechanics took me a long time to get used to, but I don't like dislike it. You keep picking the middle ones
I know.
because I think this is also B.
uh,
To be fair, I don't think any of these is going to be a D for me.
um, uh, let's go with Holy Pop 1 then this time.
I have 100%. This is one of the few games on Steam that I've 100%ed. I've played it 3 times, start to finish. I have completely beaten alpha mode, every single level of it. It has extremely memorable characters. It's a very basic premise and gameplay loop, but it stays interesting throughout the entire game. It's fun coming up with strategies to beat alpha mode. CGs are very good. It's overall just a very fun game, and I probably will play it 100% again sometime in the future. Especially since I also want to make a video on it. We still need to play Hunicam Studio sometime.
Yeah, and we also probably need to go to alpha mode sometime, which never took me through that.
It's because I don't think it's gonna
Um,
be. I don't think it's gonna be very interesting.
you know
Especially
what?
since I can't really talk very well during, because I need to concentrate. So that's the thing I kind of disliked about the playthrough is I do feel like I'm not very good at commentary during the actual game, the actual puzzle stuff, because I need to concentrate.
I think you did fine. I think we had some pleasant conversations
I mean,
over the course.
it did well.
Yeah, like yeah, it did well. It was pretty. I believe it was pretty popular.
Yeah.
Well, it was really popular.
Actually, I was
Okay.
funnily enough, the second game was actually more popular, I think, than the first
Oh,
one.
really?
Yeah.
Um, honestly, of these last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Um, I'm gonna pick the last one that I'm almost certain that you don't uh just enjoy as much as the rest of them, which is Danganronpa another.
This one's. I feel bad, but I do feel bad putting this in C because it's one of the most popular things on the channel. It was a really fun experience. It really was. But good lord, there is so much dialogue. There is way too much dialogue. And I know it's not the game's fault, but the fact that it's not perfectly translated, while really funny sometimes, it also really hampers the experience. That's why I'm really. That's why I'm hesitant to play the second one. I mean, we're gonna play it eventually, and I think we're gonna enjoy it. I'm hesitant to play the second one though because I'm worried that a lot of the same problems are gonna transfer over.
Yeah, and spoiler for people who haven't seen, who don't know anything about Danganronpa 2, the protagonist is a girl, so I'm not going to be the one voicing the main character this time.
Yeah. Well, we agreed that if it's too much for me, you'll do the inner monologue and I would do the voices, do the actual dialogue
Yes.
for her.
Yes.
Which, after how much there was in the first one, I think we're probably gonna need to do that. That's why I don't want to do it until we're like done with Princess of Angel because that's just so much talking.
You know what? That's fair.
And I want to dedicate like big sessions to it. Admittedly, it depends on how the save system is gonna go. Because if you can't save whenever you want, that sucks. Yeah, and especially when the dialogue scenes are so long. Yeah,
uh,
it's a fine game. It's just the dialogue drag it, all that stuff drags it down a
yeah,
lot.
you know what? I completely understand. And I think anyone who's watched the playthrough also can probably relate, especially towards the end where like Ray just yapping, yapping our ears off.
I also want to point out again, you found really good images for these. These look great.
Oh, thank
I mean,
you.
I know a lot of them are just like the title screen and whatever, but like they look very nice.
hmm I did pick out. Uh, I did make sure to pick out really pretty ones because we're gonna be using the same tiers for in the future a lot. So,
Yes.
uh,
I was gonna ask actually
I'm
if you wanted to add Princess of Angel to this because I know we're in the middle of it, but I mean I think we can I think it'd be fine to include current playthrough.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. But I'm going to go with Return to Ravenhurst next while I look for an
Okay,
image.
this one is a personal thing of me, just because I know a lot of it is held up by nostalgia. This is one of my favorite games, just like ever, because of how, like childhood memory attached to it, and then it's also really just a really great game. It's the first game in the series that has puzzle aspects. Um, it's out of the three Ravenhurst games I've played, it's the one I like the most. Uh, Ark doesn't want to really go through the rest of the series with me, but I'm gonna go through it because that I haven't seen like a majority of the series because I stopped at like Escape from Ravenhurst, which is like a third or fourth of the way through the series. And then I'm eventually gonna do a video on the lore of the series. So
Yeah, Red's doing a playthrough. We're doing the full game of Return to Ravenhurst series. So go check that out if you haven't already.
I do think our videos were funny. Were funny though.
Yeah, I also think so. I think our commentary for
You made
the
it very funny. I feel like
thank you.
in the moment and right afterward it was not very good, but like now that we've had time to like look back, I think it's very funny.
I also think so. Yes, I definitely tried to make this as funny as possible. I think I succeeded. So I'm pretty proud of it. Okay, I submitted the Princess of no, actually I didn't. Yeah, hang on. Okay, now I submitted the
Well,
Princess
you're
of
gonna have
Angel.
to add it to yours.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I did. You can just reload the page and you should be able to see it.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you think we'll
Uh,
include with happiness as a separate one?
uh, I, hmm.
Because it is
I
technically a
think I
separate game.
it is a separate, technically a separate game. Yes. And the stories and what happened is entirely different than the stories in this game, the
All
main
right.
game. So I do think we should. Do you want me to just do it right now, or do you want me to
This one? Oh no,
Yeah.
not with happiness.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Okay,
Yeah, right,
we
obviously.
haven't even gotten to it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean now I mean yeah, just go ahead and rank that right now because even though we haven't finished it yet,
Mm,
we did go through like a few I mean a third of the game so far, and
I have to. try and distinguish how much of this is me actually enjoying the game and how much of it is
Recency.
recency and how much is nostalgia. It isn't as much of a strain on my voice as I was expecting it to be. I know we only do an hour per session, sometimes two, but like I still voice like every character except for two, like two or three, and two of those characters that you voice are minor characters. It is still but it has stunned me that it is as good as I remember it being. Because I was so worried that it was gonna be really like or not bad, but it was not gonna be very good the way that I remembered it being.
Mhm.
But
I'll
especially with
definitely.
like Ayaka, I thought I wasn't gonna like Ayaka as much as I used to, but no, I love her so much, and I'm so happy that her and everything else in the game is better than I remember.
I'll definitely need to uh, crop that image so it's smaller and we should face the image. But
I'm still dreading that scene though.
honestly, yeah. um, I wanna just like save the S for last. Or no, save the S games for last, and I think I know exactly which ones these are. Um, so I know we have very differing opinions of this game, but let go ahead and speak your thoughts about Flipside.
Flip side. Let me think. I said it in the video, but I will say it again. I really like the writing in this game. I don't like it as much as it is of the three games. It is my least favorite. I think. Look, I don't know. I don't remember what I said in that video, but I think now, now that it's fading a little bit, I think I still like the first game more than it. Um, but I definitely don't hate it at all. I think it's great. There are parts of it that I do think go overboard, but I think the hatred for it is very overblown. Um, Plus it also helps that it's one of my most popular videos of all time, so that also makes me feel really good about it.
I love that Flipside is 2 times as popular as both the first and second games.
Mm, Come on. No, why is it so there?
Uh,
If you can't tell, it takes a lot for me to like dislike something.
yeah, I can definitely tell. I mean, you can probably just delete the D tier bit because I don't think any of these last five is.
No, they aren't. Already
And,
said none of
yeah.
them are going to be D tier.
Um, let's see. I know this is gonna be huge recency bias, but go for Gun Companions next.
In companions, I'm not that one. I've been thinking about. I don't know if I want to put it in high A or low S. The game itself is simple, but that not in a bad way. The scares in it are genuinely so good that it gets like even bright room. I can hear other people in the apartment talking. Like I don't feel like alone or in the dark or anything, and they still startle me. Oh shoot, I forgot. I actually wanted to add. I know we didn't post the video or like technically finish the game, but I did want to add. I'm scared to this.
Really?
I forgot to add that to the list.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can just do it right now if. But we still have. Yeah,
Yeah.
you still have some games. So.
Where's my list? Should probably move this list down the thing because it's gonna grow really long later.
Yeah,
I have it. I had it at the top of my like the note of the notepad note it was in, but I should probably move it closer to the bottom. Cooking companions. So really scary, genuinely good scares, great art. I really liked it. I really, really like the characters. I really like the mystery and the story of the game. And I'm excited to play. I'm excited to play Nightmare Mode and see the rest of the ending. I'm gonna put an S.
all right. Okay. First game of Class 09.
First one. Uh. Mm, again, it's either low S or high A. This is a
Can you
very
tell me
this
is it
I have known about this game for a long time. Not long, several months. Not knowing anything about it except for one of the endings. I did
okay? I
not
submit. I'm
ex
scared.
I did not expect for this thing to be this good. I don't think it has any right to be as good as it is. For as simple as the game is, it does what it sets out to do so well. And it immediately made me obsessed with the game, with the entire series. Um, yeah, where to go with that?
Can you reload the page again for me, please?
Yes. Okay.
Let's now because I'm scared out of the way, and I think I
What
know
the
exactly
get
where it's
out of
gonna
the?
go.
Oh my god! This stupid thing! Get out of the way!
Imagine not having ad block.
Okay, hold on. Hello, we're back.
Hi, we're back, and we have a new tab open because OpenGX is the superior. Anyway, it's a superior browser. I mean, but anyway, let's knock I'm scared out next.
Oh, the game that we never finished because I am a pussy. Well, that wasn't the only reason. It's also because I didn't want to do the editing with all the showing the desktop stuff.
It's honestly like um. I'm honestly still in disbelief that it's actually a horror game that you, as you got so scared you couldn't finish it. Apart from just the like editing.
It was a combination of both. I would have pushed through to finish it if I hadn't had to worry about that other stuff. Hmm.
I'm genuinely surprised by that.
It's a good game and it is genuinely very scary. It's just out it was the whole yeah, that whole stuff.
uh, let's see. Of these last three, what do I think you like first, second, and third? um, I'm gonna guess that you like unpacking these three, the least of these three, or the final three.
That's actually really hard. It is definitely S. It's such a beautiful game. It's I love the hidden story of it. I love that that it doesn't tell you basically anything directly. You have to figure out the story on your own. And I've played the game 3 times now, and I feel like I discovered something new every single time that I played it. And now I'm making my first retrospective video is going to be about it, which I think should speak wonders about how much I really like the game. Do I like it more than Class of '09 is the question. I don't think I do. Like, barely.
Okay. To be honest, I feel like the first place between these last two should be obvious, but I honestly don't know which one you prefer of these last two. I'm gonna go with
It's
re-up
probably
for
what you
the
think
second
it
place.
is. It's better than the first game for so many reasons. It's the dialogue is better, the voice acting feels better. There's more CGs. I like the routes and the endings way more. I love the showcasing the side characters more. It's just it is better than the first game in every way.
I completely agree. And for the last one, I think we both know where this goes.
Oh, doesn't he? Yes, it's the very top. It is a game that I've known about 4 years. 4 years. I watched Markiplier's playthrough of it when he first did it, first played it. I watched the new videos as they came out with new updates, and then I attempted to play it multiple times since and never made it very far. And I'm glad that I didn't because I didn't remember most of the game. I mean, it's also probably because, HD renovation came out since the time that I last saw the game, and they probably changed a bunch of stuff even before that. So I'm happy I got to experience it with you for the first time, pretty
I
much.
am too.
And now
And I have a lot to say
there's a
about
lot
when
to
I
say.
get to it's my turn.
And I am making retrospective video on the entire series, and just the story mode is 22,000 words. It's a fantastic game and one that I actively wanted to 100%. So that's always the games that are special to me is the ones that I want to do that. But yeah, I think this is my tier list.
For once, I'm glad you. I don't have like a huge disagreement with this. Like the other tiers, for one two uh placements, I felt like you had a stroke. But I mean, at least for this one, I can fully understand where you put all of these. Except for I'm Skill. I feel like I'm Skill was a bit one high or yeah, but I can still understand because it is. Well, I'm gonna save my thoughts for when it's my turn. But
Okay.
okay, my turn.
I want you to start with Amnesia.
Oh, well, we are starting out rough because I'm gonna be very honest with you. With Amnesia, for I remember I was having fun for like for about the first quarter to first half of the game. I thought the skills were very good. I was very on the edge of my seat. I thought the flashbacks, the entries we found. I love the exploration. I love how imaginative or creative you have to get past some of the rooms. But at the same time, I felt like that was also partially annoying towards the end. And then the more we got through the game, the more felt it got old really quickly. Towards the end, I am gonna repeat what you said for your tier list. I honestly just wanted to end, and big part of that reason is because I couldn't see shit. like
I
I
wish you had said
I.
something earlier.
I said something as soon as I felt like I couldn't see anything because a lot of the
Yeah,
rooms.
but I don't think I think you should have clarified more like how bad it was because I thought you were seeing the exact same thing I was, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of dark, but at least I can still see. I can still like play. I didn't realize it was darker for you than it was for me.
Well, I'm sorry, but I mean, I can still see, I can still see like the surroundings. It's not like it's just to see nothing but blackness. I can still see, what was happening. But even so, towards the end, that didn't change my feelings about the fact that I just wanted to end, and I feel like that when I look at all these games at tier list, um,
I feel like
yeah, when I look at all,
there's so many different games in this. They're all so different.
yeah. When I look at all, but yeah, when I look at all the games in the tier list, I cannot tell you even I cannot tell you a single other game in this tier list that it was so far that I said, oh, I just want this to be over. Like I just want to like, move on. So for that reason, despite how creative it is, but despite the fact that it gave me a few genuine jump scares, I definitely think I enjoyed this game the least. And for that reason, it goes in D.
I still am interested in playing the other games just because I want to see if they get better.
Honestly, me too.
Because I mean, to be fair, this game is really old. This
yeah,
game is over 10 years old. So I think that and it's the very first game. It's probably the worst.
honestly, it's probably more than likely.
Mechanically.
That's generally how it goes. Yes.
They looked like us. Also, I just want to point out my section was half an hour way better, by the way.
Okay. Um.
Way better.
So
I'm meaning I did way better this time.
okay, yeah, you definitely did. Um. Okay, they look like us. I'm gonna repeat what you said. What Red said during the her description of this game. It is really, really short. I think it was made for like a college project.
A lot of games
Um.
like that are made for like game jams and stuff.
Mhm. From the beginning of the game, I immediately, when the first light was turned off, I immediately was like, "Oh God, this is not going to end well." And then soon, we more and more, I was just more and more unsettled. Like, with more lights being turned off, the more I got unsettled. And then when the final light was turned off and the screen showed that broadcast, I like, immediately, like, I remember like slapping my hands over like the top of my eyes and just like peeing out through with like the slits of my fingers because I just couldn't. I was genuinely terrified about what was coming. And unfortunately for that playthrough, we didn't see it. But afterwards, I did look up another playthrough to see what exactly it was, and it gave me like the biggest fright. It was horrifying.
And that's why I want to give these I want to give smaller horror games a chance at some point. I want to like dive
Exactly.
into a bunch of smaller ones.
For such a small game, it is phenomenally well made. And I think that despite it being so short, I thought also the creativity of the news, or was it newspaper? Was
Yeah,
it news like
newspaper.
once newspaper, right?
It puts a file on your
At
computer that's a newspaper.
at the end of the game was also really creative. It was a phenomenal game. But despite it being a phenomenal game, it is really short, and I cannot, in good spirits, say it goes like uh, uh, as high as other games where they have more content, and I got this and more kills I can bond with. But even so, I think I can give it a lot of credit, and so they looked at us. They looked like us goes in B, I believe. Same as where yeah.
I think you talked about the game longer than the actual game is. Okay. What about I'm Scared?
Uh, I'm Scared is a game that I have many similar. I've
Actually,
very
wait,
similar
before
thoughts.
you Okay, you can continue.
Okay. As I was saying, I'm Skilled is a game where I very very similar thoughts as I did for Amnesia. It is very dark, but at least for this one, it's for both games, I could I had a hard time seeing, but could see what was going on, and a lot of the jump scares really got me. I do think it got I won't say it got old fast, but the fact that the game kept force closing out like every jump skill or periodically got repetitive fast. Um, I do think this is another game that's probably more fun for a player than this for the viewer, especially because the player can like read the files. Um, of course, we never finished this, but honestly, I wasn't too bummed out because uh, it's I can see why it's popular, but
I
um,
cannot believe how often whiteface shows up in other stuff.
yeah, exactly. Well, honestly, I think Whiteface is like one of the faces of horror games, which is why it shows up. And
It's one of the faces of indie horror games just because the game is so old and so iconic. Which
exactly,
I mean, that's fair. I think it kind of deserves it. It's just,
I can see. Yeah,
and I am admittedly playing it up a bit. If it ever shows up again, like it did in spoilers, if it ever shows up again, like in Cooking Companions, I am kind of playing it up a little bit. It is very cool. It completely threw me for a loop that it showed up in there. But I also kind of, I mean, it makes sense. Cooking Companions is an indie horror game. I'm Scared is one of the big indie horror games of all time.
exactly. I can. That's exactly. And I think. Excuse me. And I think Red made a good point. It's one of the most popular. It's one of a very popular indie horror game, and I can see exactly why it's so popular. The fact that it gives you files, the fact that it gives you links to YouTube videos we have to piece together.
I think it was one of the first games to do something like that.
Exactly, and I think it's very incredible that the creators of this game was did that. So, despite my grievances and despite the fact we didn't finish, I do think that uh, hmm, I can't say I enjoyed it as much as they looked like us, despite the fact that they looked like it was so much shorter than this one. It is creative, but I think the fact we didn't finish took away from it. And for that reason, I think I'm gonna put it in high C right now. In C.
HuniePop.
Well, um, what to say that I haven't already said? Okay, I guess I'll just reiterate. For people who haven't seen the HuniePop playthrough, uh, I really had like no filter with my commentary in both the first and second game. But because I will say that the first game easily had more of my favorite characters, and it is even close. Uh, you, Tiffany, Momo, I adore those three, and I still do. And despite how because right, despite how much I've seen this game, despite how much we've uh right, despite how much we've seen this game, and the fact that Red and I have played it before, or I mean briefly played it before deciding to take it to do it in the video, and the fact that it still hasn't ever gone repetitive for me, I think speaks for how great this game is. I think the puzzles in this game is a lot more. Honestly, I think the puzzle game is a lot more fun than the ones in the second one. I think the baggage thing is. I respect it, but it does get annoying very quickly. Uh, and generally the fact that these killers in the first game, I just aside from the fact that all the killers, I just sorry, how's I word this? Um, barring maybe one or two, all of the characters from the first game I like more than every character, I would say, from the second one, which is honestly kind of depressing. But I mean,
I mean, I agree with you. I was kind of defense. I was trying to I tried to defend them, honestly, and I still think I don't think they're altogether terrible. They're just not as memorable.
they're just not as memorable, exactly. And I think the fact I also enjoy the questions they gave me. I just overall enjoyed my time playing this game, and I'm more than happy. If I decide to play Honeypot myself, I'm more than happy, like 100%. It goes in a high A. I won't say this goes in S because there are some
I
S games that
I
this
will
can't
admit
compete with.
the first game is way easier to 100%. It's still not
Yeah.
easy, but it's easier than the second.
Mm-hmm.
Which, speaking of, go ahead and do the second.
Well, I've mentioned it briefly when I was talking about Honeypot 1, but there are so many characters. I just when I see them, I just either roll my eyes or just want to.
I like that. I like that some of them grew on you a little bit.
Some of them grew me a little bit, definitely, but there are some of them I definitely disliked from the beginning. I thought Tiffany's mom, I forgot her name. Tiffany's mom was
Jessie?
what Jessie is.
Huh?
Sorry, Jessie. I thought Jessie
okay.
got.
No, I'm not forgiving you for that one. Jessie is literally one of the characters of the game. I'm not. I can't excuse you for that one.
I'm sorry. This is gonna go into red and ox bloopers for the YouTube videos, but I mean, I think Jessie was one of the characters who I got so much better between the first and second games. I forgot the other returning character too. What the fuck?
Wait a minute. Wait. Lola.
Thank you.
That one took me a second, actually. Well, it's just because Lola. I think of the first game, Lola is one of the more forgettable ones.
Mm-hmm. And between the first and contrarily between the first and second games, Lola got worse for me. So I guess it's like a give and take. But between the new characters, if you've seen the Honeypop 2 playthrough, you will know that there's one character both Ryan and I appreciate through and through. But apart from her, every other character, I just is either someone I don't enjoy or dislike being around, like Brooke. There are so many things wrong with her. Like
You found her okay at the start, and then the more you learned about her, the more you just grew angry.
Exactly. And this is one of the cases where like more exposure character is worse, because if I knew nothing about it if I just knew as much about Brooke as I did from the start of the game, then this game would have been honestly a lot more bearable for me. But apart from her, there are other characters like the makeup disaster, which I can't be asked to remember her name. This is the surprise. I mean, the fact that the surprise girl kept messing up your puzzles honestly like
I didn't know. I had no idea what you were talking about for a second, and then it just all came flooding back.
Yeah.
I don't remember her real name, but she called herself Suki.
Mm-hmm. I think that was very comedic, but again, the whole bag thing in the second game is is something I found creative, but I found annoying. I thought the final boss was just silly, which I mean is I guess being critical, especially in a game like this. I'm very sad that Q isn't a part of this game. Is an option in this game. I'm very sad that neither Tiffany nor Momo returned, despite there being a Momo figurine in this game. Every character is so much more forgettable than the first one. this game goes, and uh, I honestly I think it goes in high C. I just yeah. I'm
You know
sorry.
when we're done with like Xenoblade, we're gonna have to add that too.
Yeah, I know.
And then you're gonna have to grapple with, is this game better than these other games?
Yeah, and I'm already doing that right now. I'm already having like a crisis between where I
That's why
differentiate
I think the
between.
further along we get, the more fun it's gonna get.
For sure.
Okay, I want you to tell me about unpacking.
Oh boy,
Probably one of the most chill playthroughs we've had.
exactly. Unpacking as a game, I don't really have like a bell curve right now, except without the slope going down. It remains in the high right now, but because well at least it's like a line going up, basically like 45-degree line going up right now because at the beginning when I played this game for the first time with you. I thought it was obviously a very chill game. I thought it was just a chill game of taking stuff out of the box with absolutely no substance at all. And then I looked into this game more, and then I gradually learned more and more about it.
That's how it get.
Um,
That's how it gets you. You
oh,
play you play it, and it's like a chill game. You notice little things here and there that you like. Oh, maybe something is going on, but you don't
I
either.
will.
And then either at the end of your first playthrough, you realize that stuff has been happening, or you look back at it later and you're like, "Oh shit, there's a story to this game."
Mm-hmm, exactly, and that's exactly my experience as well. Because I will say that when we first played this game together, we were just chilling. I despite us having like a great conversation, when I was looking at the gameplay, I couldn't resist thinking to myself, oh gosh, I can't possibly imagine myself playing this game alone. Because for me personally, the concept of taking stuff out of boxes and just placing them in the right location does not just sound fun to me. I know, but
It is definitely
that's not.
more fun to a person like me with OCD.
But the more I learned about this game, the more I respected, the more I respected it. Of course, we help each other with our with the retrospective videos, and in the script, even in the script, I've learned new stuff about this game that I didn't know previously. So I think this game has like limited potential and like unlimited potential rather in like how exactly deep this game goes. And
The funny thing
I
is,
think it goes.
I kind of compare it to Spookies because the developers, as far as I know, have only made one game each, but the one game that they made is really, really good.
For me I like games that are open for interpretation like unpacking because as I know the community has different opinions
There's some things
and
that the community generally agrees on. Like generally, the
Mhm.
stuff with the ex boyfriend is the community generally agrees on a lot of stuff concerning him, but there is also a lot of stuff that people have their own headcanons.
Exactly and spoiler well, me and Red actually have different interpretation of like the ex-boyfriend and and if Pisha haven't even played one before the breakup but anyway what I'm saying is I generally just love games where it leaves you open for your own imagination. I think games like this are should absolutely be respected. And the fact that there's a intrinsic story to unpack, no pun intended, uh, but in this game, it makes it deserve like a lot of credit. And I can definitely in my future see myself picking up this game and playing myself, despite the fact that just previously I said I probably wouldn't enjoy the game. I think just seeing this story from my own eyes is enough for me to pick up this game for myself. And for that, I'm playing this game in this game definitely goes next.
If you ever do, let me know. I'd be happy to watch and just like talk, chill with you again.
You mean like when you watch it, or you saying you were watching my spookies video I gave to you?
I watched it.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't comment on it.
I mean, I didn't really have anything to comment on.
Oh, okay. I thought you just
It's
if you
different.
never
It's
watched
different
it.
when you don't have any like commentary on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. How about let's go for a big one. Let's do the first Class of '09 game.
Oh boy. Uh, I know I've said this line a lot, but for people who have who haven't hasn't watched a Class of Nine playthrough,
Go
I
watch
highly
it. It's
recommend
really good.
go. I highly recommend you do. Yes, we have some funny commentary in there, and we have
Or,
some.
admittedly,
I
I
mean,
think I think of the three games, our commentary on the first one was the weakest.
I also think so. Yes, I had some very visceral reactions, especially in the first game, because the first game I obviously before we began, I knew I knew almost nothing at all about it. I heard some stuff here and there, namely from what I think namely what Red told me, like sprinkled around, but I knew nothing about this game. But it pleasantly surprised me. It is extremely low budget. But first of all, that's exactly what makes it charming. Secondly, the
It also means
characters.
that the game is cheap, thankfully.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot, honestly, one of
Like,
the things that people were upset about was that Flipside was as expensive as it was.
secondly, the
Like
characters.
for example, I think the first game is like $5, and then I think the second game is like 7 to 10, and then I think the third game is 15.
Okay. Uh, the characters. I think I obviously there's some very amazing ones, and there's some very shit ones I despise. Like I despise.
Wonder who that could
Uh,
be.
yeah, I really wonder. Some of these endings I despise, and I still despise to this day. Namely, the white power endings and the choked out ending. I thought were awful. Especially the white power ones. So I generally I think the choked out ending is has some. I can see why people someone might like it, but I can't personally see why people like the white power endings. Because
The
I keep my
the choked out ending has great shock value.
exactly, and that's exactly what I mean.
Like
Um,
it makes like you're obviously you're expecting one thing, and like that does technically happen, but you're not expecting the other half of it.
a highlight of the Class of 9 series for me in the first game will always be the fact that the order of the endings I got. I so for someone who hasn't watched Class of 9 playthrough and don't mind spoilers, keep listening. But if you haven't watched the Class of 9 playthrough and don't want to be spoiled, I highly recommend stopping the video right here and maybe coming back to it when you finish the playthrough, because I got the Nicole trying to kill herself, Nicole successfully killing herself, and then Nicole making Jeffrey commit a school shooting in a row, which uh, I'm not sure if that's impressive, very sad, or well, I'm sure it's entertaining for the viewers, and I'm happy for that, because I think getting those three innings in a row really set a precedent for the rest of the series. And despite the fact that by the end of the first game, I had very mixed experience on this series as a whole. I think I thoroughly enjoyed my time for what we saw. There are many themes in this trilogy that I am very uncomfortable talking about, or even just mentioning the name. So I'm not probably not going to do that right in this video, but but even despite that, even despite being a person who generally when there's a theme like that in like these in the kind of game that I know is coming, and I would immediately drop it. But for this Clash of 9 trilogy, it just makes me more invested. And I will repeat, I will reiterate for re-up, but
Okay, you can continue.
Okay. I was just saying. I will reiterate for when I talk about re-up, but this game or this series also gave me two of my top easily top favorite top 10 for me favorite kills in all the media. I wouldn't maybe even top 5 for one of them. And for that, I will no without hesitation put this in front in S tier, and I will also put it in front of unpacking.
I wanted to point out something that I'm happy that my top videos are getting more interspersed now. Currently, my top videos, other than the Little Nanako video I made 2 years ago, is DRA episode 1, Spookies 1, DRA episode 6, Class of '09, flip side, and then DRA episode IF.
Okay,
It's getting more varied.
congratulations.
Okay. Now, cooking companions.
Oh boy. Uh, well, the recency bias is strong with this one. Um, for those who have watched the video, you would know that for the first, I think, quarter of the game, I was very upbeat. Red and I were talking about varying other types of video games media, like we were probably going to do in the future, such as TDLC. You can probably look forward to that.
Oh, I'm
Um,
very excited.
and then Maria left the cabin, and then a couple nights later, or one night later, I forgot which one it was. We brought a piece of meat.
It was a couple nights.
It was a couple nights, yeah.
But yeah,
A
as
couple
soon
nights.
as that meat came out, you were like, "Where did you get that?"
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as the meat came out, you can immediately tell like the mood just shifted for the entire rest of the game. Because I don't think after that point we talked about a single other thing besides just the game itself.
You
And
sure?
that's for good. I think so. And that's for good reason because I mean I should have expected such a thing in a game like this about cooking. But even so, just
I
seeing
still can't believe I literally told you it's horror involving cooking and you didn't figure out cannibalism.
we brought a piece of meat and I was like, yeah, where did you get that?
Which was funny because
And I
that's immediately I think Karen said that immediately after.
exactly. And then one by one, Anatoly left the cabin, and then Raiko just got chopped up. I was obviously devastated through the course of the main game, and uh, I thought the Chompets were all adorable, despite no, I just didn't think they were adorable, despite like Potato giving like a bad vibe at the beginning. Um, uh, the skills from the end of the first dream sequence, as anyone who's watched the video, will probably know that it immediately got me, and every jump skill after got me as well. I was at the edge of my seat throughout the entire. For the last, I think half hour, 1 hour, I was entirely at the edge of my seat. The ending, I was very confused at first, and I again, as you probably know, like the credits was supposed to roll right there, but even so, I was still. I think it's
We kept
still,
waiting for something to pop up.
and then it just never did. Yeah. Um, but overall, my opinion of the main game hasn't changed over time. I think it's still a phenomenal game. Which at first, my initial reaction was that because it made me so devastated, my gut reaction was me calling it a horrible game. But the more I sat on it, the more I realized, no, this is exactly what this game's supposed to do, and for that, it is phenomenal. And then the DLC happened, and I wish we got to spend more time with the kids before they metamorphosized. I don't like the series of events being left up for left up in the air when the kids are slowing down the I guess the motor, quote unquote.
They call them the psychopath.
The psychopath. Okay, there we go. But I think the white face reveal was genuinely horrifying, and I am also very excited to explore Nightmare Mode eventually. This this game goes between the bottom of S tier. I can't enjoy this game as much as I enjoyed unpacking the story of unpacking, and I think there are some gripes I have with this game, but none that would take from it too much. I am very looking forward to Nightmare Mode, and just see more of it, generally.
Ravenhurst.
Oh boy. In a complete contrast with quality, Ravenhurst was a game that I feel like I had to carry with a commentary because
You can appreciate the game, but
I can appreciate the game.
but
I can
not enjoy
appreciate
playing it.
I can appreciate the game. I can appreciate to some extent the story behind it. I can appreciate the voice acting.
I will make you appreciate it.
But the hidden items really got repaired towards the end. And I feel like
the
this
thing
is definitely
that it's because it's the first one that does that switches to the puzzle style. It's probably the game in the series that has the most puzzle scenes or hidden object scenes of those, you know.
This is definitely a game I felt like I had to hard carry without commentary. I definitely think in the first episode, our commentary was very funny. When I look back, sometimes I still play it back and I still get a good giggle out for myself because it's just like how funny it is. But that's not part of the game. That's just our sense of humor. The game itself, I thought was honestly boring overall. I personally did not have much fun with it in the slightest. Yeah,
It's okay.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay to have bad opinions.
I
I think you'll appreciate these games after the retrospective.
I really hope so. Actually, I'm sure it will because it's only the first game. But for now, just from this game alone, just from not enjoying the hidden objects game, and just from not having fun, bottom of detail. That's definitely the game I've probably had the quote unquote worst time playing. Even then, I wasn't bored because we were just having such a fun time talking. But it's definitely
I think if we had done it when we were better at commentary, it would have been way more enjoyable.
Honestly, me too. I definitely think our commentaries had vastly improved.
It's getting better. I think it's getting better. Re-up.
Make a tier above us.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So.
SS?
Re-up. Yes. Re-up is the first game that goes in SS. And it's because I think it's I think it's on a separate level compared to the ones in S. I agree with Red. I think it's better than the first game in every way. It gave me a lot of. It made my opinions of the Kyoto's change a Kyoto. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me.
Made the
It
character
made my
your opinions of the characters change for better or for worse?
for better or for worse. Yes, some I loved like loved to death. Some I wish I didn't see more of. Um, but I can't deny that most, if not all, the scene, well, all of the routes were magnificently written. I am very, very happy. No matter if my opinion got better or worse of the characters, that we got to see more of them. Because in the first game, they were kind of just there, sprinkled around. And for the second one, we learn more about them. We get a bond with them. We get a bond with them more. We get to learn more about their life and etc. It's only not just focused on Nicole and Jacka, even though they still have the most screen time. And this game is the game that made me fall in love with both Jacka and Ori. And the reason for that is coincidentally because the very first route that we played in Re-Up, where Jacka calls Nicole out, and then Ori saying that text message to say bye, bitch. And at the end, I just have so much respect for her. See. Honestly, I don't think there's a single negative thing I can say about this game. Re-Up is just a magnificent game, and I love it so much.
Papers, please.
Papers, Please. Is another game that I feel like needs to be killed by commentary, because because although you do get interesting things happening on some days, and you can get different endings depending on the decisions you make, it's not enough to not to make the repetitiveness not get boring very quickly. I've said it many times, but I do feel like this is another game where it's a lot more fun for the player than it is for the viewer. But despite that, I never felt like I wanted this game to end. I still enjoyed my time watching you play this game.
And you're willing to,
And
and you want to, you're also willing to eventually go and see the other
I
endings.
am eventually willing to see the other endings, which I would not be able to say for some of the other, which is so funny about some of the other ones. For that reason, I think
Well, it's one of the only games that has multiple endings, Ark.
sorry. Uh, uh, but yeah, well, in summary, I despite the fact that it does get very repetitive, despite the fact they get bored at some points, I still like it. I think it goes in low B, but before they looked like us. No, but low, but before they look like us.
That's yeah. Before it would be this.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, before it's like lowest. I'm sorry, I probably still clarified because for me the closer they are to like the letter, the better they are for me.
Yes, I
That's
know,
how
but
that's how
when you say before, I still interpret that as before it.
okay.
Princess of Angel.
Well, first of all, I am very biased towards this game because Ritsuko is possibly, if not my very first online crush, like crush in media, in video game history, I believe. Because I saw a picture of her online, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And I didn't do any research to see like who it was. I just saw that picture and was what immediately just thought she was adorable. And then eventually I learned that she was from this game. I played with happiness, which unfortunately only goes up to chapter 13. So chapter 13 to 26 is going to be completely blind. But despite that, uh, all of the main story is phenomenal. There's not a single. Well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. There is, I do unfortunately dislike Marika, but aside from Poe, there is not a single other character I can say I dislike. And I think exploring the learning more about the characters and just the story in this game is phenomenal. Every chapter in this game, uh, some of chapters in this game are of course better than others, but I think every chapter in this game has, of what I remember, is great.
My only major complaint about the game is that it has a lot of anime cliches and tropes.
Yeah, I mean,
But I also can kind of understand it given the game's age. And also, it's just like it's not like bothering, you know.
yeah, and I'm glad they also nailed all four of the main girls into being as likable as.
They're all likable and desirable.
Mhm. And that's exactly why the choice later on when we get there it's going to be probably so difficult.
Again, I think we're gonna have to either do a coin flip or
Have someone else.
yeah.
Okay, but we only got through 1/3 of this game, so I'm not gonna put too high right now because when we do finish the game, and we do finish the game, I'm sure it's gonna go up. But for now, it's gonna go in lower than Holy Pop for now. But I will put an asterisk beside this because it's not finished, and also when it is finished, we finished all 26 chapters, and
All
I
26
definitely
chapters
think
and all 4 routes.
when we finish all 4 routes and all 26 chapters, I definitely think this game belongs in SS eventually.
Danganronpa another.
Uh, uh, I have very mixed feelings about this game. It, I am biased because it is the very first playthrough that we ever did on the channel, and set in motion every other playthrough we did, and uh, I guess drilled into you, hopefully how fun it was to play with me. Um,
I couldn't. I don't think I would have been able to get through the game without you.
I'll be honest with that. There are some characters I really like, Kanata and Akane, and there are some characters I don't. I thought all the trials were well written. I enjoyed the story, but at the same time, I will uh reprimand this game for how long some of the dialogue in this game. This goes on for some time. Goes on for sometimes. I don't think there's a single other Danganronpa in the main series.
There isn't. Danganronpa is very. It makes me honestly. It made me appreciate Danganronpa's writing and dialogue more.
Exactly. It did get, especially because we were voice acting, it did get boring quickly in some parts. But I honestly think the writing and also the trials were beautifully written.
Oh,
The whole thing,
it got emotion. Like it actually did get me emotional. Surprisingly,
the whole thing about Yuki and Akane being the masterminds threw me for
the thing is, there's a lot of dialogue, but the characters are very good. The characters are very good.
The thing about Yuki and Akane being the masterminds threw me for an entire loop. Like, I I
I didn't believe it when we were doing that final chapter. I didn't believe it. I thought it was that gonna be that thing that was like, oh yeah, there's the evil part inside of you, but now the good part is the real one. But then
Mhm.
no, she just kills you.
It did give me another one of my favorite characters in Akane. She's definitely she definitely competes with like even characters from the main game from the uh main series. But does that mean I like this game as a whole? Yes, actually, I do like this game as a whole. But despite the number of but despite how long the dialogue drags for sometimes, because how well thought out the modes were and how well done the trials were, and also the entire funhouse thing, plus the character interactions we had. Uh, I yeah. Uh, I I can't say
I
it's
just
good
wish we
for
could have gotten to see the FTEs.
Yeah, honestly, me too. That is another complaint, by the way. The FTs are all Korean, like aside from Canada's, which it does always take away from it because if the FTEs were not in Korean but in English and we could understand it, I think we probably would have appreciated this game a lot more to like learn even more about the characters. But unfortunately, alas, I I think it goes in high B. Yeah, there you go.
Flip side.
Oh, my voice getting straight from talking so much. But we're
It's two
almost done.
more.
Yeah. Oh, flip side. Um, I have some very strong opinions on this game. I do not agree with the sentiment that this game completely ruined the series. I think that's going too far. I still hold on to that belief, but I do think it's the worst in the series because this game is basically just, hey, here's your favorite characters. Now watch them all fucking die. Uh, Jekka in this game, it felt to me like she got punished just for existing. Um, the writing in this game, I think I do think when I was going through this game, I think I was a bit harsh on it. I some of the routes, like the very first one we went through, where Jagger finds the code's partner, we go full circle with the first game, is beautifully done, and then the other four is just, did SBN3 have a stroke? What happened? Uh, it does have my favorite CG in the game with Jagger and Ari. This is a game I definitely see myself coming to appreciate eventually over time. But as it stands, I don't think I'm there yet. I, if this was like, if we just finished Flipside and we had to rank these games right now, in my gut instinct would probably have put this game in like the very bottom of the. And if we were ranking these games based off of just like the pictures I use, this game would go at the very top of SS. Like it would stay there even like 100 games in this series, in this tier list. I mean, but the whole foot fetish thing did not do it for me. I think it was disgusting. I hated the fact that Jeffrey took up so much screen time when it should have been given to other Kyotos. We already had so many Jeffrey moments in the first game. Why do we have to do it again? And I, I, and for the foot fetishing, in addition to that, it felt like a waste of content. And in the fact that only one of the 5 routes I thought was amazing, and the other 4 was kind of just whatever. Hmm. Hmm. I'm not gonna be as hard as this game as viewers of Flip Side might have expected of me, because now that it's settled in for a little bit, I can't see why some people like it. And at the end of the day, I do appreciate a game where Jacob was the protagonist. And I do appreciate a game where I got to see more of the characters I like, namely Jacob or E. Kelly, despite the fact that, again, all three of them died at some point in this game. So I'm gonna put it below Danganronpa another. And then last but not least, Spooky Jumpscare Mansion. I mean, obviously, this game goes in the very top of SS. I don't think I need to dwell too much in this game. This is easily the most fun game I've ever had playing a game. Of all these games, this is definitely the most fun I've ever had playing a video game with Red. This was also the introduction that made me appreciate horror, gave me a new viewpoint on horror, and made me appreciate horror and as a whole. Yeah, because if before we played Spooky Jumpscare Mansion, I was very defensive. I was really hesitant on playing horror games. But after playing Spookies, I just went, oh my gosh, I love this. I want more, and that's exactly why we moved on to more. Like they look like us, and Amnesia and Coin Companions, which one after another, it continues to be games I enjoy. Both with every single specimen, I think, has some appeal. I love the creativity of some of them. I love what the creators, the creativeness of I mean, all of them really. I love that there's a story behind it, and the story behind Spookies, but the secret story behind Spookies and Father. There's a story behind like most specimens in the game. Overall, if you haven't tried this game, please do.
It's the base game is free.
The base game is free, exactly. Oh my god!
Obviously, you should play the HD renovation because it's great, and it comes with the DLC. But the base game is free.
Okay.
Anything else?
Um. Honestly, I think I said everything I wanted to.
All right. You're a lot more evenly balanced than I am.
Want to elaborate?
Just you have it like it's almost uniform. There's almost two in everything. These are our tier lists. The first annual one. And I can't wait to see what other games we're gonna add to the tier list. I'm so excited to see what else we end up adding.
Honestly, me too.
If we want to give a little like sneak peek to anybody who is actually still watching, currently the plan is we're gonna finish off Cooking Companions, and then we're gonna play Firewatch. Give that a try. See if Ark likes it. And then we're gonna do a couple random games. Fears to Fathom. I'm gonna show Ark Anna. We're gonna watch the YouTube series and then play the video game. And then Detention and Sumire. And then we have a bunch of other games lined up to play casually. Like we're gonna be, we won't be doing it tonight. I think it's too late now, but we're gonna be doing some scenarios in Plague Inc. Just have a long list of random games to try out. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Please like the video if you liked it, and subscribe to see more of our content in the future. We'll see you in the next one.
See
Bye.
you in the next one. Bye.